is changing the narrative one episode at a time. You are now.
Oh, yeah. Welcome, everyone. Welcome to the Narrative Podcast. I am your host, Halsey Allen. Put a little too much pepper on the intro. Sorry about that. So welcome to my my podcast. Welcome all my narrators. Welcome anyone new that may be tuning in right now. So all my narrators, they already know the demonstration. They already know what my platform is all about. But I give you a brief overview to all new listeners about what my podcast is and what I'm trying to accomplish on this space that I've occupied. Basically, so let's start at the beginning, the name, the narrative. When I started doing this podcast, I noticed the media weaves a false narrative about original people and original culture. So basically what I wanted to do is design a platform where I flip the narrative because on the media, they're basically perpetuating, generating, and incentivizing negative stereotypes about our people and our culture. So I wanted to flip it and create a platform where I'm actually building up and edifying our people and destroying those negative stereotypes that they put out about us. Hence the title, The Narrative Podcast. So on this platform, what I basically do is provide positive frames of reference about original people and original culture, thus destroying the negative stereotypes about us. And the way I destroy the negative stereotypes is provide positive frames of reference. My tagline is The Narrative Podcast, changing the narrative one episode at a time by destroying negative stereotypes about original people and original culture. Now I know you're saying, dang, you keep on saying original. Why do you keep saying original? Well, it's my personal belief. I recently had an epiphany about the word black, and I already said a few episodes ago during the live, coming into some new knowledge, but the original knowledge that I came into was, that the word black means something negative. And it does in the English language. In the English language we speak every day, it does mean something negative. It's the only word in the dictionary. It means something negative, but also denotes a place of origin. Because when you look in the dictionary and look up the word black, you'll see, people or indigenous original people descending from Africa, depending on what version of the dictionary you get, but pretty much all of them say, people originating from Africa, and then they'll have all these negative example sentences using the word black. Black meaning gloomy, depressed, desolate, diseased, pretty much confused, all these negative nouns, verbs, adjectives, pronouns, and example sentences using the word black. Black in the English language also symbolizes death and the end of all things. Now, like I said, in the English language. Now, what do we know about the English? The English are colonizers. And so they basically went over to Africa, observed our culture, and then, you know, took and flipped it. When there are several dialects in our original tongue that black means something positive, but they, as you know, they got a history of recording history and making them look pure, and everybody else look, dirty. So, while many years ago, black meant something positive in our culture, in our native tongue, now they have defiled it and it means something dirty. And if you know anything about the power of words, words bend and shape reality. And essentially, what you speak over yourself dictates your reality in the way they have set up the word black. It's basically like a death sentence. Every time you release it out of your mouth, it's a death sentence. So on my culture, or on my platform, I've decided to replace the word black with original. Because in the English language, in the English dictionary, there's nothing, no negative connotation surrounding the word original. And I try to insert the word original in reference to us, in replacement of the word black, in reference to us as often as possible. Now, if an article says black in it, I'll read the article, black man, black, yada, 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 whatever. But I try to insert the word original as often as possible because I believe original is a more accurate depiction of us, because we were and are the original man and the original woman on this planet. We mothered and fathered civilization. There wasn't a single place on the earth that we did not originate from. Like pretty much every corner of the globe, we was already indigenously already located there. So while slavery did happen, the transatlantic slave trade and chattel slavery did happen, not all of us are transplants and products of slavery, as history would have you believe. So like we originated so many things. We originated reading. We originated mathematics. We originated science. We originated philosophy, chemistry, biology, botany, modern medicine. Matter of fact, the father of medicine was Imhotep, a brother. We originated so many things in the modern world. We originated alchemy. We originated psychology. We originated pretty much any scholastic thing you can think of. We originated that. We was the original teachers. We was original builders. We was the original journeymen. We set the precedent for pretty much everything that currently is. So many civilizations owe their lives to us. So I think that's a more accurate interpretation of us than the word black. It's more befitting to describe us than black. So not saying, black in our, early civilization and our native tongues meant something positive. Like I said, the powers that be, they took and dirtied it up and defiled it, and now it's ingrained in us to mean something bad. So that's why I've elected to say original on my platform. The ultimate takeaway I want my listeners to get from my content is how important it is to share positive information about our people and our culture on your timelines. That's why I call my listening audience my narrators. because we are all content creators to some capacity with these handheld devices. So we have the power to change the narrative based on the content we post online, whether it's YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, whatever digital platform that you're on, active on. You have the power to change the narrative or the overall perception of our people and our culture. It might not be the definitive answer, but it is an answer um, to answer the horrible misrepresentation that the media does at portraying us. Um, so like they do it intentionally. It's a psychological warfare type thing. The reason why they're doing it mostly is to generate and sell news, but also, it's also like psychosomatic, like a weapon against us, um, to basically like have a negative self image of us, to just shatter our self esteem, portraying us in a certain light, and just all these little deceptive things they do in the media, also to control the minds of the masses, like people outside of our culture. They want to present us in a certain light to people who we are unbeknownst to, people that didn't grow up around us and only know what they see, only know about us what they see on television, all the images. They're supplied with all the frames of reference, and all the frames of reference they have about us are negative ones. So this overall impacts us as a whole, on inclusion, on access to resources, on economics, and mental and psychological as well. So it's a whole lot going on, with our images and likenesses, the way we're portrayed by the liberal media. So we got to, do our due diligence and, kind of counterbalance that and set that right by posting positive, content on our platforms. Um, so like, for example, like if we're always just posting like gang culture, uh, thought culture, fight culture, drug culture, um, violence culture, you name it, all the negative stuff. We're always posting negative things about our people and our culture. People outside of our culture are going to perceive us as just naturally negative people. It's like, the perception of us, we're never happy online until we're putting down another one of our own. Then we're, all laughing and giggling and kikiing when we're putting down somebody else. So we got to change that perception of us. We got to showcase and highlight that we are kings and queens and we are gods and goddesses, to restore our former prominence that we once had. Well, that was I didn't mean to get that windy, because another goal on my podcast is to keep it short and sweet. Ideally, I don't want to exceed 1 hour. When I first started podcasting, I had no clue what I was doing, and I was kind of all over the place. I didn't have a clear starting point, a clear stopping point. So what I did is took the initiative to break up my content. I broke it up into sections, and I gave each section a speaking point. And then I noticed, my listening audience went up, and it's still going up. Like every time my podcast, I get more and more new listeners, and my stats keep going up. So I use the KISS formula: keep it simple, silly, and it pays off for me. So because ultimately I wanted my content to be able to resonate with my listeners. I want to make it digestible, and be able to refer to all the episodes at a later date, Nothing like super over nobody's head. Just putting it in plain perspective and applicable and practical. I do get super deep sometimes, but when the content or the situation that I'm speaking about calls for it, but most of the time I will try to keep it as practical as possible, including my time, because nobody wants to sit up here and listen to somebody just talk for hours and hours on end with no clear starting or stopping point. So, but anyway, I digress. I'm about to get into this content. Um, So before I dive into all that, a few disclaimers, handle some business first. First, I'd like to ask all my listeners, I'm recording right now, but when I share it back on all platforms, please click the download button. It's a small click for you, but a big click for me in ways of like finance. So it's like, I got this platform like everybody else monetized, and that's how, you get the monetization, the algorithm and all that. So every time you see the Narrator podcast link anywhere on social media, on any platform, click on it, click the download button. It would be the arrow pointing downward. So click that, and that makes a big difference. It'll help me, build a better platform, more professional sounding, and as I'm gearing up, trying to make the switch from audio to video, start doing YouTubes and TikToks and all that. It'll help me get better equipment, so you have more clarity. I'll be more crisp and can hear me better. But yeah. So download this episode and our previously recorded episodes of the Narrator podcast. Also, like I said, it is monetized. You will hear ad rolls throughout the broadcast. I don't know, when they're going to occur, or even what the ads are about, until after I've already recorded it and shared it back online. So there's no way I can edit them out. I can't, you know what I mean? It just is what it is on that tip. But don't stop listening when you hear an ad or several ads during the broadcast. Listen to the end and you will be rewarded. That's all I really got to say on that. So, if you missed my live feed, normally I jump right into the content. Like I said, I got my podcast broken down into sections. Each section has a speaking point. I describe each section as I come to them, and I hit on my speaking points when I'm in each section. But today, in commemoration of Black History Month, I decided to switch it up a little bit before I dive into the content from now into the end of February into the first week of March, when I'm going to be doing Black History Facts at the beginning of my podcast, whether it's live or a full broadcast. So before I dive into the content, I want to hit you off with a Black History factoid. Just like try to pull my notes up. All right. So, did you know that Lake Lanier in Forsyth County, Georgia, was once an all-black town? It's true. It was Oaksville, Georgia, and it was an all-black, pretty much settlement. And basically, the majority of the town folk flooded it. They did this because it was rumored in 1912 that two young black men were accused of rape. Um, so they didn't even have a trial. They just they killed two young black men accused of rape, and then they didn't stop with just them. They killed. Matter of fact, they killed all the black people in that township. And then after they slaughtered you know, all the survivors, whoever didn't flee the township, um, they flooded the entire town. So it's now a lake now. So yeah, a lot of our history has been erased. That is the whole purpose of Black History Month. And you don't hear factoids like that. So when I'm doing my Black History fact, I'm going to attempt to go for the lesser known ones, attempt to go for the not pretty ones, but I will be, from time to time, inventors and trailblazers and such, the first black man, the first black woman to do this, that, and etc. But then also I'm going to be, for my Black History facts, I'm going to be speaking about the more gritty, hard to listen to type stuff because it was so horrendous. But that's the whole point of Black History Month, is to like tell the truth about who we are and our contributions to society. So that was an entire black town, ruined. We didn't do anything to anybody, like most of the time throughout history. Um, Present day, when we get persecuted, we're usually not doing anything to anybody. We're minding our own business. But the powers that be decide that they want to just run us off, want to run us off our land, want to, hurt or kill us. But yeah, definitely that was a lesser known Black History fact. I don't remember hearing that growing up in school. Um, but yeah, it definitely did happen. You could do your Googles. Uh, and it's, we need to start talking about our lesser known history and stuff that they don't teach us in school about us. So, so we don't get the usual deflection questions. Why are black people always complaining? Why ain't nothing good enough for you? Cause stuff like that happened to us, throughout history, and is continuing to happen today, just in different forms. So there you have it. Um, the lake located in Forestwood County, Georgia, was originally an all black township. So got flooded, you know, and there's many more places that got flooded as well. Many more well-known lakes and rivers throughout the United States used to be all black townships as well. And I'll probably be doing dives into those too all this month. But I just gave you that little tidbit for this week. And I'll probably give you another little tidbit when I do a random live during the weekday. But yeah, that's the Black History fact for this week, or this weekend, because I do my, it's for today. Okay, for today. I'm rambling now. All right, now I'm gonna dive into the content. Up first on my first section, it is the promo section. And in this section, what I'm doing is I'm giving original people that own or operate their own business or have a product or service that needs or promoted, the opportunity to get that free promotion by hitting me up at passionwebmail at poeticpassion.host. Subject bar, type promo. Body of the email, tell me a little bit about your self, your business, product, or service that you need advertised, and I will gladly advertise it for you 110% for free. The reason why I'm doing it is to, do my part to help circulate original people dollars in the original people community. It is with my great anticipation that the people that reach out to me is already, contributing to the community that they're rooted in, such as hiring their own, such as, doing some type of giving back to the community, whether it's like they own, they have their own nonprofit organization or they pay into one or, they donate services to the community, donate resources, some type of giving back. So, just keep that, circle of giving complete because, we are due reparations, but until we get it, we have to support one another. We're not going to get over that hurdle if we don't. So even though you might personally not like the business owner or the proprietor of the business, if they own a business, it is essential that, you support them. Because you support other brands and you know for a fact that they don't like you, but you go out and buy it anyway. So prioritize is what I'm saying. My bottom line, what I'm saying is to support one another when we're doing business or projects. If we're doing something online, like I'm doing, like I'm podcasting, all I'm asking is for a download. You don't never know what opportunities is going to open up, what opportunities I can provide to the community if I get the proper support all the things that I'm envisioning doing and helping. But I am getting the help. I am getting the support. I use that for an example. Anyway, so, if you need or like the free promotion, hit me up at passionwebmail at poeticpassion.host. Type promo in the subject bar. Tell me a little bit about yourself, business, product, or service, and I will gladly plug you for 110% for free on my platform, the Narrative Podcast. Alrighty, right. Now on to my next section. This section is called the contest promotion section or the contest section. In this section, what I'm doing is I'm plugging a contest that I'm running exclusively for my podcast, the Narrator Podcast. Basically, I'm giving away a prize to all my listeners, all my day ones, and new people newly discovering my platform, the opportunity to win a prize. What I'm giving away is a bulk supply of your favorite snack, and I'm giving it away for just participating in my contest topic. And my contest topic is share your most recent shopping while black experience. You do that, and you get a bulk supply of your favorite snack. I'm not charging an entry fee. I'm not trying to get anything from you. I'm trying to give you something. Like I said, it's an incentive reward to keep you tuning in. The more participation I get in it, the better the prizes I'll be able to give away. As as I'm getting more traction, I probably attract more sponsors. And right now I'm doing it out of my pocket, but as I get more traction, I probably get more sponsors and be able to give away cooler stuff. But for right now, that's what I'm budgeted for, a bulk supply of your favorite snack. And you would get it simply by asking, participate in the contest topic, share your most recent shopping while black experience. And to enter, all you have to do is I'm using the same exact email address that I did for the promotion, but I'm separating them through the subject bars. So in the subject bar for the Chew On This contest, that's the name of the contest, by the way, is in the subject bar type Chew On This / or dash shopping while black. In the body of the email, include your most recent shopping while black experience, your mailing address, and then tell me what type of snack do you want. Okay, sounds very easy. Nothing too complicated about that. And I even make it easier for you than that. You don't even have to type in the word shopping while black. You can just type SWB in all caps in the subject bar. And I know what you're talking about. But definitely share your most recent shopping while black experience. Um, your mailing address so I know where to send your stuff. And then tell me what type of snack you want so I know what to get you. Cool? And again, the name of the contest is that you on this contest. Put that in the subject bar, slash or dash, shopping while black or SWB in all caps. All right. I think that's money. I think you should. That's really self-explanatory. All right, on to my actual first section of my podcast. This section is called the highlight section. And in this section, what I'm doing is I'm highlighting businesses owned and operated by original men or original women. Spoiler alert, in the highlight section, all the businesses that I'll be highlighting are ran by women. I don't know why, but you will see when I get to it, when I tell you what I'll be highlighting, the businesses that I'll be highlighting. You will see, you'll understand why they're all women. But anyway, in this section, what I'm doing is I'm highlighting businesses owned and operated by original men or original women that own their own business. And the reason why I'm doing that is to, provide the positive frame of reference of entrepreneurship to the listeners, to inspire you and motivate you to start your own business if you have that inkling in your mind that you want to. I'm sharing examples of people, probably that was in the same similar situation that you was, working a 9 to 5 job that they was not satisfied with, or just wanting more out of life, or to do something different with their life, something that they were passionate about pursuing, and they start their own business. They didn't have, sufficient money. Often the case was they didn't have sufficient means to start up the business, financial means to start up the business. They didn't have, you know, adequate education or expertise in the field that they start their business. If they did have an extensive college background, it didn't align up to, whatever product they're currently selling. And basically, their stories are like people that came through the mud. Another thing that I'm doing in this highlight section is to, get people to patronize their own, giving you examples of different companies that patronize probably like products you didn't know existed that's, owned by us. So, why not? So I'm planting that seed, to get you to support your own. And, also in this section, what I like to try to do when I have the information is I want to, give you the blow by blow. I want to walk you through their journey, like, how the idea germinated, the origin story of whatever they named their product after, what year they established it, and then also, tell you like the opposition that they faced starting the brand. And tell like anything that they're currently promoting with their brand, like as far as like giving back to the community. Like, do they hire their own? Do they have their own nonprofit organization? Are they involved with social causes with their brand? Those are all the things you will hear in the highlight section usually when I can find the information. But last qualifying factor is, all the businesses I line up with my current theme. And my current theme is the season of winter/New Year. So all the businesses that I'll be highlighting kind of line up with that theme, and all those other things that I said, being original people owned and operating, hiring their own, paying into some type of, you know, charity, like either their own nonprofit organization or, paying into one, using their platform to do something positive for the community, basically. So now that you got a gist of this section, I'll dive right in to the highlight section with the original people owned and operated businesses. So, but before that, I'm gonna give a proper segue for it. So, of course, it is not technically the new year, but for all intents and purposes for this podcast, it is. So, when the new year begins, something that a lot of us do is make New Year's resolutions or goals, if you will. I'm doing air quotes on my audio platform, so you can't see me, but planning your goals. Every time I say goals, I'm doing air quotes. Um, so, what do you need usually to plan your goals and to keep yourself organized? You need a daily planner. So, in this week, in the highlight section, the types of businesses that I will be highlighting is original people owned and operated, um, daily planner companies. Well, actually, paper and stationery and they have daily planners, but you know it's daily planner season, so they're pushing the daily planners right now because it's technically the new year, even though it's not. But anyway, yeah. So up first, the first original people owned and operated business, daily planner business comes to you from the Ayer Paper Co. Hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. It's Aya Paper Co. Email address is ayapaper.co. The proprietor's name is Savon Anderson, and the business was established in 2018. It started basically with a decision to change her major while she was studying at Fordham University. She started off as a marketing major, then switched to a digital designer. 2 years after she graduated, she became a designer at a contemporary art museum. After that, she launched her own company and named it after herself. Aya is her childhood name. She was always into greeting cards and stationery. She just liked to be able to customize messages for people. As a matter of fact, that was the inspiration for a greeting line company. Basically, it was actual factual note passing between her and her friends. It was inspired like that, that type of sentiment, like written communication with a friend. Hey, like, thinking about you, da 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 da. And then boom, start the company. Now, how her company's different. She wants to focus all of her energy into, the environment. So all of her products are completely, biodegradable, completely ecological. She's heavy into, environmental justice. So that's her cause that she's passionate about, and that's that's how she gives back to the community is through environmental justice. And yes, we don't hear about that enough. A lot of us, we are like some tree huggers, and we care about the planet. Um, you know, It's just that we have to fight for so much. And within our own community, we kind of forget we live on this thing called Earth, and there's plants and there's wildlife. And, it doesn't matter who's oppressing who, we still live here. And if we kill the planet, we essentially kill ourselves. So, that's why she has taken up environmental justice and, strikes a blow for us in that way, because we need inclusion and representation in that as well, because there's like a lot of this that's really with the ecological movement. But yeah, that's basically her story in a nutshell. It's actually way more complex than that. I had to streamline her story to fit with my timeline guidelines for my podcast. But it's very interesting. So you can just like do your Google, check out her story. She's done like many interviews on the internet about how a paper company started, and her journey and everything she had to deal with and struggle with along the way, and as well as all the things that she's currently involved in, all the current projects that she's taken up as far as like in the way of philanthropy and giving back and causes and such. But definitely support the Aya Paper Company. So let's give it up for Aya Paper Company, ran by Savon Anderson. I want to give a warm narrative podcast round of applause for Savon Anderson and Aya Paper Company. So yeah, like I said, you see, once I hopped into it, why it's like all women, because women are just kind of like naturally linear. They like everything like neat, everything organized, everything streamlined. Like, yeah, women are very linear in their thinking. Like, don't get me wrong, of course, they're intuitive, like women's intuition does, but very linear. So that's like all the daily planner companies that I was finding are ran by women. I'm pretty sure there's probably a couple fellas that own their own, but it's like really hard to find them. Like that's all that kept on popping up, which is ones ran by women, which is not a bad thing, because if you're using it for what it's supposed to be designed for, it doesn't matter unless it's a daily planner that's deals with women issues, like you know. But anyway, on to the next company in the highlight section. The next company in the highlight section I'll be covering comes to you from the Cloth and Paper Company. And you can reach them at clothandpaper.com. It was established in 2015 by one Miss Ashley Reynolds. The idea was spawned out of necessity, basically. Ashley, she was, a mover and a shaker in the corporate world. And so, like, she wanted to transition out of it and do something else. But, one day she was heading down the aisle to find, a daily planner. But, she couldn't find anything that was reflective of her minimalist view. She's a minimalist. So, very little like detail. She don't like the artsy stuff. She wanted just like plain Jane, cut and dry. And she wasn't finding, things that embrace the minimalist viewpoint of planning. So she decided to create her own brand, of course. So, you can't find something, it pretty much don't exist. So you gotta create your own, and that's what she did. Um, and she supports the community causes that she gives into is like supporting other people. She uses a platform to train other people into starting a brand such as hers. You can go to the website and see, read the blog and all the other tips that they offer, along with, of course, running her own company. And she does all kinds of meet and greets, motivational speeches and whatnot. But definitely go out, support Cloth and Paper and Miss Ashley Reynolds, and give a warm Narrative Podcast round of applause for that sister. And now, for my final business I will be highlighting in the highlight section today, comes to you from the Ivy Paper Company. The business proprietor's name is, bear with me, this sister is from Ghana. So if I mispronounce the name, Alitia Stinson, is Alitzah. It was established in 2018. Now she is kind of similar to the sister I just covered, Ashley. She couldn't find what she needed. Now she needed something with more, just in reverse though. She wanted something more intricate. She was a CEO in, always on the go, very busy, and had a whole lot of side projects in addition to being the CEO. So she wanted to find a planner to reflect her views, be reflective of people that thought like her, like really busy, on the go, and need really detailed, intricate notes. So that's what she designed. And then she's also trying to be a role model for her daughter to, basically be more organized and more business minded. So how do you do that? You do it through proper organization. Like I just talked about that, I believe, last week in my health and wellness tip, the benefits of being organized. So if you want to be highly successful, you have to be organized. That's the first step. Got to break it down into sections and attack it one step at a time. Kind of like my podcast is broken down into sections. All right. So that's all the information I really have on her, the way she started up. Couldn't really find any causes that she pays into other than the fact she hires her own, but still, you have to support those that support us. And then when you support those that support us, you're actually supporting yourself and future generations. That's why we must support our own, whoever owns a business, and putting the links out there, putting the service out there. Yeah, you might get a few that's going to be crappy and have, crappy attitudes and crappy service, but, you go to other places and pay for it with people that don't look like us, and none of the money will go back into our community. And so you just wasted your money with that experience and got nothing back. At least when we support our own, we know we're supporting somebody's family. We know we're helping them pay their bills, and if the business is successful, they're going to pour it back into the community. They're going to do some type of outreach and philanthropy, and help where help is needed within our community. So anyway, go support the Ivy Paper Company and Alicia Stinson. your Warm Narrative podcast up for Alicia and the Ivory Paper Company. All right, up next, my next section is the spotlight section. In this section, what I'm doing is I'm spotlighting a prominent figure in our community. The types of people that I spotlight are usually in the entertainment industry, such as actors, actresses, athletes, entrepreneurs. They are entrepreneurs, but they're mostly like entertainers, like I said, actors, actresses, comedians, recording artists, athletes, public speakers, people in the eye of the public. I also have spotlighted religious leaders. Basically anybody in the eye of the public that represents us financially, intellectually, or spiritually, using their platform to speak on our cause, our plight, unapologetically, just telling the really real, also doing some type of giving back to the community, whether it's like donating to buildings, donating to the neighborhood, giving back to the less fortunate in some capacity. So those are the types of people that I spotlight in the spotlight section. And a point that I gotta keep on driving at. So really gotta keep on pounding that nail. Cause your boy, me, Halsey Allen, started the wave for spotlighting because nobody onto internet, on YouTube, anywhere in the blogospheres, nowhere was people spotlighting anything or anyone until I added a spotlight section on my podcast, the Narrative Podcast. Make some noise.
You are now listening to the Narrative Podcast with Halsey Allen. The Narrative Podcast is changing the narrative one episode at a time.
In a real way. But anyway, so I'm not mad at that at all. I'm not doing this for kudos and big ups and all that. I did it to, break this cycle that we have within our community about dogging each other on the internet. I wanted to show, I wanted to take us back to basics, being nice to one another. Like I said, the media is weaponized against us. A whole lot of these entertainment beefs, these rap beefs, these actor actresses beefs is clapbacks on the shade room and points of origin, just setting the tone to cause division amongst us by getting us to get complicit in the notion that the only way we can make money is to, dog each other out and talk bad about each other instead of just saying something nice about your brother or your sister. It ain't about being fake and phony, acting like you like somebody that you don't like. If you don't like them, stay away from them. If you don't like them, say no comment. But don't get on your platform and be I try not to curse on here, but I gotta just, make my point. Don't get on your platform and call them a bitch ass nigga and stupid hoe and all that on your platform. Just if you don't mess with them, you don't mess with them. But you don't gotta get on your platform and say nasty stuff about them. And so that's what they try to do, is try to rope us into, denigrating each other online. And so what I want to do with the spotlight section is create the atmosphere where we can give each other, our sincere, acknowledgments, and give the person that you're looking up to their roses while they're here, and not feel no type of way about it. Like the only show in existence that kind of does it is the the Drink Champs podcast, and that's kind of more in the hip hop genre. They have had like other guests that weren't hip hop artists. They've had people from the NOI. They've had like some legendary R&B singers as well. But it's more like a behind the scenes, like untold stories type thing. But mine is like the spotlight. And then after I added mine, you know, it spread like wildfire. Now, was people doing something like the Drink Champs? Kind of, sort of, but not really. It didn't really, what I'm saying? Like some people had smokers lounges, and some people had like, try to like have some sponsors, and they do a shot in between, but not nothing really like emulating what they was bringing to the table. What they are bringing to the table, because Drink Champs is still going on. Shout out to Drink Champs, but I started the way for spotlighting, like just to be clear. But anyway, on to the spotlight of today. Comes today, this brother right here. We've been watching him for years. There wasn't too much on the wiki about his upbringing. By the way, I don't encourage like using wiki, because anybody can write one. So always like be able to get it from a place to cite your sources that has a works cited page when you're like researching things online, like such as like college databases and all that, such as the Library of Congress. But anyway, but like for people, like, yeah, wiki is kind of a go-to. There wasn't much in his early childhood and in life and education and all that, but brother has definitely been very impactful and has led a great life. He's leading because he's still alive. I don't want to say past tense. Good example. Came from some bad. His story is basically like, you can do it. You can change your life around. It's never too late. Truly a rags to riches tale. Formerly incarcerated, gangbanging, all that. The one, the only, legendary, something like a pimp, something like a player, but actually a comedian. The one, the only, Mike Hits, Day. A phony, 4537. Alright, but anyway. So I'm spotlighting this brother because like I said, he has rags to riches tale. He basically got his big start on Def Jam in the early 90s, I think, and I don't know what season that was. I think it was about season 2, because it was 94 when he made his debut on Def Jam. And then just after that, it was a rap. Of course, his first starring role was Next Friday. And then after the Next Friday, it was really a rap, because, everybody started messing with him after that. He was everywhere. He's just like one of them naturally funny people. Probably used to like roast people in the hood, and that's his brand of comedy. Mocking and mimicking, and just bringing that levity to the room. Like I can't see too many people that like get bitter mad about a guy like that. But yeah, he definitely seen his share of hard times. Formerly incarcerated. He had a book chronicling his tumultuous childhood and upbringing. Um, Tales of an Unsuccessful Thug. I believe that's the title. Let me make sure. I don't want to put out false, inaccurate information. And trying to get it. Pardon the long pause, but I want to make sure I'm right. Yeah, it ain't Tales. It's just called Unsuccessful Thug. I said Tales of Unsuccessful Thug, but he is like basically just um, giving his recanting his upbringing. So he been to jail, all that. Um, Had the bout with drugs, like um, you know. But the real reason why I'm spotlighting the brother, he does loads and tons of philanthropy, tons and tons of giving back. Understands what it's like to be unfortunate, and I've seen so many videos where he's like making somebody's day. I had seen a video one time. He just popped up on this lady on the corner, and gave her, blessed her with a wad of money, and she was so tearful and grateful that he gave her that, and he didn't try to like put her on the spot. I think the camera just happened to be there, and while he was giving it to her, he still kind of like because I believe, I don't want to judge nobody, but I think the lady was a substance abuser, and he embraced her while not really judging her, but he just said, you got to kind of try to help yourself too, you know. He put that in the game when he gave her the money. So, he does like that. Recently, him and his wife had bought, the block because he's from Indianapolis, Indiana. He had moved out to Nebraska to pursue the career in comedy. Um, Been all over the world. I think like the last project I seen him on was the Upshaws with Kim Fields. But he's always got something going on as far as Hollywood goes. Always in a project. These days he's trying to direct and produce. He got all kinds of nonprofit organizations and like things he does behind the scenes to help people that he doesn't really get enough shine for, in my opinion. Um, Always giving back, never too humble or never too like pronounced and just to like say where he came from and how he was raised and everything. Like when people get in Hollywood, they become Hollywood, and he's not that. So he never really tried to be uppity, and you know, I know nobody's perfect, but like he really is in touch with his roots. Knows how to talk to people and treat people. Because a lot of people that become celebrities, they forget like how to talk to people. They want to start talking all crazy just because they a rapper or an actor or a singer. And, you know, that ain't it. But anyway, like I said, the brother's in touch with his roots. He's always working with the youth, trying to give back to some capacity, understanding, the enemy. And to be a comedian, something to his credit as well, to be a comedian, he says some really profound things. Like people just, he's got a brilliant mind at work. He's always saying something really profound and, hits the nail on the head. Real has these real profound moments. Like his his Breakfast Club interview, which is like went down in infamy now. It's like super viral. He just said, during the course of the interview, something real profound. He said, this is a rented life. Like, we don't own anything. We don't own this money in your pocket. You don't own the bank. And then he went on. This is about around the time preceded the flooding that they had in Texas a few years. He was like, yeah, when all those people was in that water, there was like rich and poor people in the same boat. They was like tramping through the water together, gathering up their possessions. When that water hit, the bank is closed, sucker. Like that didn't mean nothing. Your wealth, all these wealth statuses that people buy, these big, mansions and cars and boats and things that they equate with financial wealth, that can be gone in an instant at any given time. At any given time. So he points stuff like that out, and like I really enjoy his comedy. He does some serious acting too. So he got chops. I like them in Sparkle. Of course, all the Fridays that he was in and everything in between, and how his legendary stuff, How High, pretty much everything that he's ever done. He's much been like good at, really pronounced. Even if he had like a teeny bit scene, you knew he was in it. Like whatever movie, if it had like a little one and done line, you knew he was like in there. And that's probably like sometimes the only reason why you watch the movie was to see his scene. But anyway, yeah. Spotlight, the Narrator podcast spotlight goes to Mr. Mike Epps. Appreciate you, brother. Fun fact, he's blood related to Omar Epps. Relation. Yeah. Now years old. I did not know that. That was the same kind of Epps. But that didn't have nothing to do with nothing. I just thought that was interesting. But the spotlight is on Mike Epps, for all he does, all he brings to the table, all the people that he helps, all the people he inspires and motivates. Spotlight is on you this week, brother, and much success to everything you're doing, and many more. Oh yeah, oopsie. I made a oopsie, forgot to say. Yeah, founded the CTE Vision Initiative, and him and his wife, try to buy the block back, the block that he grew up on in Indianapolis. So I had to make up for that. I forgot to say that. Kind of lost my place in my notes, but I had to let that be known too. But anyway, on to the next section. And the next section is my health and wellness section. In the health and wellness section, what I'll be doing in this section is, giving tips to, pursue and maintain the healthy, active, fit lifestyle. And why is that important? Well, because our people is at the target of pretty much all illnesses and diseases. So we always need to stay ahead of the curve. We always need to do, mental, physical, and spiritual check-ins at all times, because that's all the areas we get attacked is mental, physical, and spiritual. Notice I didn't say economic, because like lack of money is a spiritual disease. So health is wealth, because if you're not alive to spend it, all them dollars in your pocket mean nothing. So we definitely have to stay healthy out here in these streets. But also to the point, powers that be are always doing something foul, vile, and nasty to the air supply, to the food supply, water, and all, common everyday household products that we use every day that affect our unique genetic makeup, that are designed to affect our unique genetic makeup to make us sick or to kill us. So that's another reason why we always need to be healthy, to do everything we can to be healthy. So this is the health and wellness section. In this section, what you'll usually hear is, tips on, how to take care of yourself. If it's something like, you can ingest, it'll be like the health benefits of a fruit, a vegetable, a herb, an extract, a root, or an elixir. They can, boost your vitality and overall health that way. Or something mental, your thoughts, because your thoughts, are the basis of a lot of illnesses. This is why they call most illnesses diseases, because it festers and roots in your mind. And it happens when your mind is at dis-ease, like all this inflammation, all these, stiff joints. This is like negative thoughts, negative ions affecting your physical health. These are unresolved issues that you go to bed with, that you don't, address in your conscious mind, to take root in your subconscious and manifest physically in your body. Or physical exercises is something I also promote in this section. Exercises that you can do to stay healthy, active, and fit, like, running, walking, gym workouts and such, that can boost and increase your overall physical health. And then I also said mental health, spiritual health as well, within your spiritual body. So whatever you call yourself believing in, Allah, God, Jesus, the higher power, frequency, whatever you want to call it, give those gems as well. And then also, from time to time, I drop some metaphysical gems on you in this section. Oh yeah, mental gems as well. Did I already say that? Like, mindful breathing and such, meditation and such. But yeah. So this week's health and wellness tips is something super basic and something you should be doing this time of year, especially if you live in a four-season state, because there's all kinds of snow and ice on the ground. Something you need to do before you wake up and leave the house. I mean, like right when you wake up and leave the house, and before you go to bed. Make time to do it before you lay down and go to bed, especially if you're getting up in age. Stretching. So today's health and wellness tip is the health benefits of stretching. So stretching improves your flexibility. It helps decrease injury. It increases blood flow. It increases your range of motion. It improves your posture. It relieves stress. It calms your mind, and it decreases tension headaches. So proper stretching is a must, because your joints can seize up on you, and you don't want that. That ain't it. The wave cracking, especially when you're getting older, your joints tend to crack, such as in your knees, your feet, the joints in your fingers. Like I said, some of that is physical, some of that is dietary, but most of it is mental. The inflammation resides in the tension, tension builds up in your shoulders, in the back of your head, small of your back, that's all like pent up mental things you need to, work on. Some like deep seated aggression and animosity that you haven't let go yet. That's where it manifests at in like little places in your body. That's why you always need to just properly stretch so you don't tear a hamstring or tear some tissue. Like, so stretching isn't just for gym workouts, it's just for everyday life. You warm up, you warm your joints up, you warm your muscles up, and everything you do, even if you're just laying in the house, get up, binge watching Netflix, just make some time to like get up and stretch, like brush the little food crumbs off you, clean your little area, stretch, do some nice healthy stretches, get them, warm those joints up and increase that blood flow. And then you probably won't even want to lay back down to watch TV because after you're properly stretched, you'll find something more productive to do. Like go outside, make some move and make something happen. But whatever you do, definitely begin your day and end your day with some proper stretching. And that'll do it for the health and wellness tip of the day. On to my next section, which is my speaking point. My speaking point usually deals with current issues or what's currently trending in the news, whether it's local or national or national or global headlines, something that affects the world. And what I do is just unpack it from our perspective. And in this section, my focus is to control the narrative because the media have us looking and sounding crazy. So, if history has taught us anything, is tell your own story, because if you don't tell your own story, you will have your story told for you. And that's precisely what they're doing to our people, is they're improperly, inaccurately telling our story. So that's what I do in this section. Basically, I'm setting it right, like getting it right, putting it all the way in perspective. In the event I don't have, current events to talk about, I'll unpack just, an observation, something as a people I feel we need to work on. And when I say we, I mean myself as well, because I am an original man. So yeah, we need to work on stuff. And today is one of those days. I'm in kind of a slow week. Nothing really in the headlines to talk about, or nothing I feel is noteworthy worth talking about. Mostly everything coming across my radar lately has just been like celebrity gossip, and I absolutely do not subscribe to it, and I don't dabble in that on my platform. I encourage others not to as well, because we don't need to be our worst enemies. And you can get money by speaking about positive content. But anyway, so I guess it's gonna kind of be like I'm gonna piggyback off of what I did on my live. If you missed my live, basically my commentary was about us taking up the wrong causes. I mean, on your platform, you can use your voice to speak on whatever you want to speak on. That's what social media is about. It's socializing. So whatever you want to talk about on your TikTok, on your Facebook, on whatever, talk about it. And so the example that I gave on my live on Thursday was, I used the Balenciaga, the BDSM teddy bear for the Balenciaga that caused all that uproar. And I had noticed us jumping on the bandwagon. So the trend was like, black influencers, original men and original women influencers, like hopping on the trend and, burning their Balenciagas when in fact it didn't really have anything to do with this. I mean, that was like some outrage we didn't need to hop on. Because one, not all of us can afford Balenciagas. And two, those that, can afford Balenciagas, the last thing we're going to do culturally, because that's just culturally not in us, we're not going to purchase our child a BDSM teddy bear. So what was the purpose of burning all the Balenciagas? What? But, that was my jumping off point, was the showcase. We don't need to be hopping on, every, protest. We need to stick to the protest in our community. We need to protest and boycott appropriately with our issues. Because I can't tell people like not to buy clothes and all that. If you want to buy Gucci, buy Gucci. If you want to buy Louis Vuitton, buy some Louis Vuitton. If you want to buy Giorgio Armani and Kenneth Cole and all them guys and whatever, buy it. The house of this and the house of that, buy it. That's your business. I'm not nobody. Like, I can't tell you what to buy and what not to buy. But what I can interject as an original man is, everything has a consequence to it. And when you support, organizations that are against your existence here on this planet, then you're ultimately just, committing a form of suicide when you're supporting people that are not in support of you and your way of life. And many of these high-end fashion people are not. Many of these high fashion people have financed with these big fashion houses. They financed the slave trade. They financed slavery and was for it. Many of these high-end fashion houses financed these politicians that create these laws directly targeted at us as a people and create these institutions that keep us financially out. So just think about that when you're, want to get fly. Think about that. It ain't fly sitting up there looking outside wanting in. That's not nothing fly about that. I mean, the little clothes you might think is cool, it ain't cool when you don't have any ownership in it. We don't have ownership in your community. When you don't have a say-so, you living in America and you don't have a say-so, but you fly though. You walking around in some Gucci's though. Walking around in a Balenciaga, but you don't got say-so. But anyway, I didn't really want to bring that up. I just want to point out, important thing I think I missed on my last Thursday is like for the Balenciaga protest, like we wouldn't have, how that didn't affect us. We wasn't going to buy the teddy bear anyway. For those that could afford to buy it, they wouldn't have bought it anyway because we wouldn't have bought our kids nothing like that. So to get angry about something that you're not going to purchase anyway is just like counterproductive. But today's speaking point is gatekeeping. I feel as a people, we need to properly gatekeep our culture. We remain quiet on so much when we see people appropriating our culture, misappropriating it at that. Like they do it in TV and they do it in films. I know you can't get mad at every teeny tiny thing, but when we see ourselves being misappropriated, we need to be more vocal because we just like so complicit and docile about it. And some of the stuff is like, oh man, you overthinking about it. It's comedy, but nah, bruh. Like we be like really super just chill on getting misrepresented. I mean, it happens in really pop culture movies that's funny. Like you don't want to you don't want to never be the opposing view all the time. You don't want to be a negative Nate or a Debbie Downer like all the time when it comes to your people. But sometimes you just got to just speak up and say something. Like, for example, like I love this movie. I loved it so much. Like I used to watch it like 4 or 5 times a day. So hilarious. Like, it was just one of them gut busting movies. You just fall out laughing. But yeah, it had some stuff that wasn't okay. The brothers had a few scenes in there. Step Brothers, Will Ferrell, John C. Riley. Hilarious movie, but culturally it had some stuff in there that wasn't okay. Like, okay, there's a scene up in there, the boats and hoes scene. This is some Caucasian people looking at the culture of hip hop. And they was like using it to, their characters was forming a entertainment industry. So they wanted to like be, I guess like, they called it Prestige Worldwide, and what they wanted to do is like be a entertainment management company. They wanted to like find talent, models and actors and actresses, and represent them. That was their idea, their brainchild, which was good. That was a good idea. Some more hilarious. They did a slideshow, so it was like humorous. The stuff that they were doing because it kind of looks like them sales pitchy stuff. But then they had, the jingle. The jingle was a hip hop jingle, and it was boats and hoes. And this is some Caucasian people looking at the culture of hip hop, and that's through their eyes what they feel like all the music in the genre represents: boats and hoes, like the bling, the excess, and the degradation of women. That's what those characters was thinking when they wrote that in that movie. And like, is it all that deep? Yeah, it's all that deep when you think about it. We got to start thinking about stuff. We don't think about stuff. They had another scene in there where one of my favorite cartoon actors, Philip Lamar, was in there, and he was dialoguing with a character in the movie, and the character named Derek, he felt he had to speak to him in a certain way for him to understand him. He felt he had to speak street in hip hop, or what he believed was street in hip hop, to communicate with a potential buyer of the home. Because if you watch the movie, they was trying to sell the house, and channel events happen. But so this black couple gets there, and he's like, yo, man, bro, and got a really fresh entry. And then Philip's character is like, you can just say it's nice. You don't have to talk all like that. And then he immediately backs it up, says, no, that's just the way I talk. Like, no, you don't. So, but that's just, I use that as an example to point out, like, even though it was a comedic movie, and it's, just supposed to be a joke, but it's not saying like I can't take a joke. Like you need to laugh about yourself. You need to laugh about some of the cultural nuances within your culture. All people do, but we get hit the hardest out of everybody. We get hit the hardest. And it's like we say anything about anybody else that they call themselves not liking, there's all kind of repercussions with it. Like you'll get boycotted, they will pull the plug on you so fast, all these different organizations, if you say something that they deem is offensive. But meanwhile, fast forward to us, you can say anything you want to us and no consequences, no ramifications, no pushback, no nothing. And that's large part of we don't gatekeep our culture. So with the culture of hip hop, we say, oh, it's open for everybody. Anybody that can get busy, anybody that can break dance, we don't care. Like we welcome everybody, da da da. But you go to any other genre, it's like you can't get in there. There's certain stuff you can't do, you can't say. Like even though we originated, country music came from us. We originated country music when Little Nas X, he came to the country music scene, it was just like the music, the country Western world was turned upside down. And then well, I'm not going to go on that whole riff again about him and his sexuality. I already addressed that several episodes ago about how big a facade that is. But, I'm just saying we need to like start gatekeeping more and keep our things that are sacred. And, let them know not to go there on certain subjects, not even in jest, because all jokes ain't funny. It's like some jokes is rooted in truth. So when you see, comedy movies and it's just supposed to be a joke, like it's a little bit of truth behind that. Cause like look at the context. Always, see the context. Like why is this subject matter coming up? What relevance did that have to do with what he just said? If you know the art of comedy, the comedic timing, the way they set up jokes, does that have anything to do with that? Like, was that really necessary to have that in this scene? Like, what are they really trying to say here? And it's not like, waking up just trying to find something to be mad about and trying to find something to complain about. It's about keeping, our culture sacred and, letting them know we don't play that MF and ish. And to come at us proper and respect us proper. And when you demand respect, you will get respect. And we haven't been demanding respect. And that's why a big reason why we're so misrepresented and misinterpreted on the big screen is because we don't use our voice enough to say, that ain't cool, that ain't right. And that's why they keep on creating all this vile content, all this, ratchet stuff, because they think it's a market for it, because, that's how they view our culture. They just want to program you and tell you that's you, That's that guy with the pants hanging all the way down to his ankles. That's that guy talking like he never picked up a book ever, or disrespecting their women, smacking their women and just calling them out their name. That's us all the time. Or when it comes to sisters, that's her, Miss Angry, Miss Attitude, Miss Divitude, always got her neck rolling and her eyes rolling and her lips poked out. And always loud and aggressive, like louder than everybody in the room. Or if it ain't that, being overly sexual, she wants to sleep with everybody. She got an insatiable sex drive. She can't like be pleased sexually. She needs multiple partners. Her sexuality is always out. Like she always got her boobies out. She always got her box exposed. So that's all I'm saying is just we got to start doing a better job at gatekeeping because we do have power. We do got power. We do got say so. We proved it in so many instances in the box office. The first Black Panther went through the roof because it was on our dollar, and the visuals and the representation, it was super on point. Very empowering, very impactful. And the reason why that was because, Coogler was sticking to his guns and setting the standard, and representing us right. Now, the second one fell a little short of the mark. I seen the interview where he said he didn't really have too much creative control. That was them. And I deep down when I gave my synopsis of Black Panther 2, I said in my synopsis, I don't believe he had, creative control over that. And then I seen the interview to confirm what I had said. So, well, that'll do it for my speaking point of the day. I think I hit all my marks, so we need to do a better job at gatekeeping. And now on to my final thoughts of the day. And my final thought of the day is just a gem, a pearl of wisdom, something impactful, something that will inspire critical thinking, and many times of the time is something very practical, philosophy, if you will. And today's final thought of the day is not take things so personal. As the old saying goes, if they don't know you personally, don't take it personal. Even if they do know you personally, don't take it so personal. As a culture, as a people, we take a whole lot of things super duper personal coming from our own. And, a good 90% of the time when somebody comes at you with aggression, it's because they're living in hell. They're projecting whatever energy on you that they're going through, whatever demons they're fighting. They want to pull you into their war. Like, if somebody just out the random blue just call you fat, it's probably because they, at one point in time, they used to be fat and they got bullied when they was a child. They done lost some weight and now they got this little thing, a mental thing against every person that they think is fat. Or ugly. Maybe they feel they used to be ugly, or deep down psychologically, they feel, they're ugly. Like now the thing in hip comedy, when they roast each other, the thing is, oh, ugly ass girl, oh, ugly ass boy. That's funny, but, like I said, all jokes got a little bit of truth to them. So what is the truth? Do they really think you're ugly, or do they, think they're ugly? But, a lot of bloodshed is on the streets in our communities because we take things so super personal. If they're not in your face, trying to put their hands on you or threatening to put their hands on you, like always use the walk away option because they got some ish going on. They life is kicking their butt so bad that's what they've been reduced to is the pettiness, the name calling. And I understand like you ain't for all that. But just know it ain't always about you when somebody lashes out. It's more about them than it is about you when our brothers and sisters lash out at you. Like I said on my live Thursday, this system got us all like, it has so much ingrained into us to perceive each other a certain way and to look at each other a certain way. and to react and respond to each other in a certain way. Because a lot of it is like a whole lot of beefs are really just misunderstandings. I misinterpreted your look on your face. I thought you was rolling your eyes at me, or I thought you, when you took a deep breath, you was like saying, like, as to say something I said was stupid, or Um, another example is like, what's up? You say what's up in the wrong area of the world, in the wrong neighborhood, you will get killed for saying what's up. Like somebody will kill you dead for saying what's up, and you don't know them. You could be asking the rest or be like, hey, what's up? Be like, hey, you don't know me. I'm talking about what's up, homie. You know what I mean? So just try not to take everything so personal. I mean, we are very intuitive people. People, you'll know if you're in danger, but it's usually 9 times out of 10 when somebody comes at you with aggression, they're having a bad day, and it ain't about you. It's usually more about them and their insecurities they have within their body, in their own lives, and they feel the need to lash out. Now, at the same time, of course, protect yourself. At the same time, of course, defend yourself. Of course, you know, um, just always try to be emotionally intelligent. You will know when that option is left. You will know when to do it, when to make a move and do what you got to do. But if the walk away option's on the table, take it. Take it. Don't sit up there and hurl insults with somebody that ain't got nothing to lose, because they'll show you with body language and their voice pattern that they ain't got nothing to lose. If you're trying to do something with yourself and trying to live life and trying to build an empire, you don't got no time for somebody that don't have nothing to lose. You don't. So that's my final word for today. Thank you for listening. This has been another episode of the Narrator Podcast. Tune in regularly because I go live during the weekday to avoid missing a live. When I'm live on a weekday, follow me on Twitter or YouTube, because when I'm live, it broadcasts directly to my YouTube and my Twitter, and I'm Halsey Allen on both of them. So follow me on YouTube, Halsey Allen. Click that subscription and that notification bell, and you will always know when I'm live on Twitter, or YouTube, excuse me. You always know when I'm live on Twitter when you follow me, if you got your notifications set up on Twitter. So yeah, that's 2 ways to never miss a live broadcast. As for this broadcast, it's done, and I'm asking you to please download this episode and all previously recorded episodes of the Narrative Podcast. And please, 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 please go online, visit the Poetizer bookstore on poetizer.com, Poetizer, or the Poetizer, or download the Poetizer app and go to their bookstore. And, go check out my book titled The Black Card. Little light, super light read, 30 pager. Go pick that up. Buy many copies. Buy a copy for a friend. Tell a friend to buy some copies. Buy like 10, 20. And just give them away to people. Super dope. Very creative poems. Relatable. You will love them. Go check it out. The Black Card over on Poetizer. Poetizer bookstore, I mean. And you can also support me by checking out my personal poetry blog. It's called Halsey's Poetry Corner, and that website is at www.mrhalseysblogs.com. And my tagline for my poetry blog is Halsey's Poetry Corner, poetry with a passion, poetry for all occasions. And when you read my poems, you will know why. They're that good. Very relatable, very good poems. Yeah. So I plugged everything I got going on. We'll see you next week at the same time. Tune in regularly to avoid missing me when I go live during the weekday. But this has been another one. Thanks for listening. Halsey Allen and the Narrator Podcast. Signing off. See you next weekend. Love, light, healing, energy, peace, blessings, peace, prosperity, love. Halsey Allen Narrative Podcast signing off. And it's like that.
Set your place on fire. Put a little bit of shit, put a little bit of shit, yeah, a little bit of gasoline. Put a little bit of shit, put a to the Narrative Podcast with Halsey Allen. The Narrative Podcast is changing the narrative one episode at a time.